Hey guys, it's Amy. I'm looking for us on the Facebook here so I can respond to all the comments and put it on quiet. So, trying to give us a spot that I can see those. There we go. So, I'm here a few minutes early and I'm going to be working on some stuff down here. Let me move my coffee out of the way. I'm going to be coloring one of our flowers here, just so you can kind of see how I color those. Let me open this up a little bit so I can talk to you. Anyway, you can see my ugly mug. Anyway, I'm going to be working on this today. I'm going to be coloring this in, and then this is the card we're going to do. I already have our flowers colored, but I wanted you to see how I colored it and what colors I used. So, I'm going to set this over here so you guys can look at it. And I have another one colored over here. I just love these colors together. So I'm just going to minimize until about 10 o'clock, and I'm going to be coloring this. So if you pop in and you see me early, that's fine. Excuse me. Hey, Mom, I'm live.
It's just me trying to add you on here.
Okay. Well, I'm live, and you're on the speaker. Bye. Okay, so that was Mom. She's trying to set up her Google Nest. She keeps insisting that I buy one, and I learn how to use it so I can help her. And I'm like, I don't want a camera in my house. I have enough cameras. I have my desktop, I have my phone, and I have my tablet, and that's enough. I don't want another one. So she's starting to call me, and yay. I love you, Mom. Mwah. So I'm going to start coloring this. Comment or anything to let me know that you're here, and I will respond. If I don't see the comment and respond in the audio, then I will definitely respond later after the live. But if you share and post, I will be happy to send one of these cards to someone today. So comment away, share away. That would be great, and then I can send you one. So I'm going to start coloring my leaves first. I'm using Granny Apple Green today. These are my two colors, the dark and the light. I'm going to start with the dark because you don't really need a lot of this dark. And I'm literally just going over the really thick veins of this leaf. And if you see here, I'm just going to go over these and go in here where it's really dark. Just put some color in there. Just a little bit. And that's all of the dark green I'm going to use. The rest of it's going to be done with a light Granny Apple Green. And I'm just going to come in here with the blends and color that up. My mom watched me video the other day, or we were doing a web chat, and she was watching me fussy cut one of these out. And she's like, you actually fussy cut that fast? I'm like, well, if you do it for a while, you learn the best ways to do it. And yeah, I got it, and it's good. All right, there's my green for my leaves. Now, the coloring I did on this, I love colors. We're going to start with Cherry Cobbler right here. And I'm going to start with the very, very dark Cherry Cobbler. And I'm going in these dark, bold lines here. And I'm just kind of mainly staying really close to the little seed pods here in the center. So, and then I might go a little out where it's really, really dark. But I'm really trying to stay close to this very close center. And that's where I want a lot of my red color. That's the deep, deep red. Then I'm going to come in with my light Cherry Cobbler. And I'm going to do the same thing. But I'm going to kind of pull up. There we go. The cap on this one is a little. And I'm just going to go a little further out, but trying to stay really on those dark areas again, because the lighter spots will be my other colors. Okay, so that's my dark Cherry Cobbler. Just That's the light cherry cobbler and the dark cherry cobbler. That's both of those on there. Then I'm going to go with the Rococo Rose. I'm going to do the really dark Rococo Rose. And I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to go a little further in with these lines. Maybe not all the way up these lines. But you see there's these soft little lines in here. And we're going to go up with those. And then we're just going to go around with this color. This is the dark Rococo Rose until we get them all up there. And I know it looks kind of horrible right now, but as you blend these colors in together, it won't look so horrible. Now, some of these really dark lines, I'm going to go ahead and just come in and do them all the way out. Then I'm going to take the next color of Rococo Rose, the light Rococo Rose, and I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to extend all the way to these little ones out here and here, and I'm going to make sure I take all of these little lines, and I'm going to make sure all these little lines are covered with this lightest Rococo Rose. And of course, you want to layer, so you want to kind of go out from the middle of this dark Rococo Rose too. And you want to go over it, so you're just gonna, so you can blend these colors a little bit. Okay, now that's the light. So now my Rococo Rose is done. Now I'm taking in just the light Flirty Flamingo. And I'm going to literally come from the center all the way out to make sure it blends all of these colors together. And I'm just going to come in here and blend them up. Now, if you see, there is a pattern on the back of this paper, and you can kind of see it if you look here really close. And it's back there. But once this dries up, you won't see it. I promise. So I'm going to make sure I come from the center out so it blends. And I know right now it does not look like it's blending at all, but it does, I promise. So who else on here has a pet that helps them craft? I constantly have my dog, Dr. Pepper, aka Poophead, with us every day. Every time I come into the craft room, I put my shoes on, he comes running. And he's like, yep, I'm coming. Let's go, Mom. He just doesn't like to be in the big house. Well, the tiny house / bigger house. It's bigger than my crafting cottage. All right, so now I've got this one all colored in, and I'm just going to keep coming in here and blending this up a little bit. Now, it doesn't look so great right now, but that's okay, because once it dries, it will look so much better. I'm going to come back in with this very dark cherry cobbler again, and I'm just going to come in here and just go around this edge to make it super dark, because it blended out some of that color. There we go. And my other ones, I just literally dabbled a little bit of cherry cobbler around in the center, and that was all I did. You could put any color you want in the center. That doesn't really matter. But now we'll take another look at this once it's completely dry. It doesn't look so cool right now, but it will be cool once it dries up, and it won't look so streaky. All right, so I'll put that aside. It is now 9:56. I see I have some folks here. Please leave me a comment. Hi, Sandy. That's who's here. How you doing today? You hope you're feeling better. I hope you like the colors. I hope you like the card. This is the card we're going to do. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and minimize my face so you guys can see a little better. Here's the card we're going to do. This is using the Lots of Love. I don't have the stamp set that I can actually show you just yet because I have it all strewn about so I could use it. It's this bundle, the Lots of Love, and it's got a bunch of die cuts that go with it. And of course, I've got them all ajar because we're going to be using these to do. We're going to use this one, and we're going to use one of these centers, and we're going to be using this one. This is probably one of my favorite cuts with this set. And of course, we're going to be using lots of color and lots of different papers. So the first part, this flower, this is the one we're going to use because I've already cut it, fussy cut it, and everything else. So we're going to use this flower. These were the colors I used. I will have them listed in the blog post. And this is from the True Love DSP. And I just colored one and fussy cut it out. See how much different that looks? And I just love those colors together. We're also using some of the True Love specialty paper. And then we're using some of the True Love foil paper. This is Sahara Sand. And this one is Blushing Bride. And then I have Cherry Cobbler. I have a scrap piece for my edges that we're going to cut out. And then I have a Whisper White piece and a Basic Black. And then I will put all of this on a 8.5 by 5.5 scored at 4 1/4 base. So let's get started. I guess it's nope, it's not 10 o'clock. So what do you guys got going on in your world? I mean, is everybody staying healthy? That's the most important thing. I need everybody to stay healthy. Thank you, Sandy. Okay, I'm kind of like just piddling around. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to put this to the side. First, we're going to start with our Whisper White paper, and we're going to do this little background behind the heart. If you want to take a closer look, I'm going to go ahead and minimize me out of the video. There you go. So now you can see everything a little bit better. So this is the card we're going to do, and the background is done with painted poppies, believe it or not, and we're going to do that with Rococo Rose on Whisper White paper. So my painted piece of paper here is, I want to say 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. So I'm going to just I have the 2 stamps that I want to use from the Painted Poppies set. It is the Splatter stamp set and then the watercolored for the Big Poppy. And we're going to use these 2 stamps to create our background. I'm going to start with the first one, and we're going to use Rococo Rose. And we're just going to juice this up, and I'm going to stamp it off. And then I'm just literally going to stamp it a couple of times around till it has no more ink. And then I'm going to stamp it off again, and I'm just going to continue this until I have it covered the way I would like. Move my dies out of the way because we're going to use the mini die cutting machine today. And I've got to kind of envision where I'm going to put my heart so I don't go overboard. I'm going to do just a little bit over here. There we go. Now that's good for that one. So I can take this stamp off, and I'm going to put this one on. And this one I'm going to stamp at full strength. So just stamp, and I kind of want some, off to the side. I wanted to put it over on the edge, but I'll fix that in a minute. And notice I'm doing double stamping, so you get 2-tone with that. Now, I kind of wanted a little bit of this down like that. There we go. So that should be good. I'm going to imagine what our little heart's going to look like, so it'll go there. Okay, so we're good. So I'm going to put the Rococo Rose. Wait, no, we don't want to put that up yet. I have somewhere in here, here it is. This is 1 inch. I just cut a 1-inch strip. It is probably a little bit bigger than my seam, probably 5.5, but I'm going to trim this down, so don't count me on that, but it's 1 inch wide. And I'm going to do the same thing to it that I just did here, so that I have a little bit of the dimension to it and the same look. Okay, now let's switch this. Because I want it to look the same, but I want it to be able to be seen when I put the solid color. I didn't want it to be that dark. So let's just flip it over. There's always the other side of cardstock. Stamp off, stamp off. And you won't use all of this, so it's okay if you don't get all of it. There we go. Now it's all colored and kind of blotchy, and that's what I'm looking for this. And then I am going to use the other piece. And I'm going to stamp this one off because I don't want it to be too, you notice this one over here is not very dark, and it doesn't have a lot of little doodads on it. But I'm going to go ahead and put some of those on there. So I'm just going to stamp a few on here. And I might do just a few little edges and tweaks of dark. There we go. Not a lot, because I am going to put a sentiment on that so you can see that. And I know it kind of swallows in the paper, but it will go on top of here. So that's all the Rococo Rose we're going to use right now. I'm going to put that one to the side, and I'm going to put my little stamps to the side, so I don't have Rococo Rose stamps everywhere. Now, while we're hanging out with this one, we're going to go ahead and cut our little dies. Now, don't mind my little mini embossing cutter, because my critters have been coming in, and it's super muddy, and I've been keeping it stashed on the floor, which, yeah, shame on me, I shouldn't. But again, I live in a tiny space, so tiny spaces create tiny problems. And, well, so this is on the floor. So we're going to pull out our die bases, and we're literally just going to cut. So this is embossing, and embossing folder. This is what I need. I just need these three. Okay. So what we're going to do is I've got this. This should go right through there. It does. So I'm going to take my little Sahara sand foil piece, and I'm literally just going to put it on here and cut it out. It is 3 by 3 or 3.5, and we're literally just going to cut this out. And I didn't tape my mat down, so it's not working very well with me today. There we go. And this one cuts like butter. You don't have any issues with it cutting out. And there you go. It just cut it all out. It's beautiful. And we're going to cut out the center of that as well. And you could save your little pieces and use them for confetti or something inside a bag. That's up to you. Just like that. Put this here. And I'm going to take my heart again. And I'm going to take my heart die cut from the same thing, and I'm going to center it in here. And then we're going to lay this on top. I can't wait till we get the magnetic board that actually works with this one. I know they're having some magnetic board issues, so they haven't gotten one out. All right. So there we go. Now we have a plain heart, and we have our Sahara sand little doily piece. So that's for our card. And then we need to cut out as well a piece of, put those dies away, cherry cobbler in our little filigree looking little, I love this piece. This piece makes me so happy. So I have my little spare piece here. I need to figure out which one is 8.5. I have 3 of them here. So yeah, any one of them will work. So I'm going to cut a strip of this off. I think it's about 1 inch. Let's see. It is. I'm going to cut 1 inch off to be able to cut this out. Hoping you can hear me, because I turned my back away from me. So I'm just going to cut 1 inch of this from a 5 and 5.5. So it's not going to be that long on our card. So I'm just going to cut it so that it's even over here. So I'll place it on here like this. So we're just going to put it back on the embossing machine. And I'm trying to keep it a little, there we go. And we're going to run this one back through the cutter, if it wants to work for me. Again, like I said, I don't have this one placed down, so it's not grabbing it for some reason. But that could be because it's not sit on here right. That's why. Here we go. There we go. Took a minute for it to catch. It's because I didn't have it centered. So that would be user error, not machine error. Okay, and that should be all the things we have to cut out. Okay, hold that thought for a minute, guys. Hey, babe, I'm live. You're on live TV? Okay, I love you. Bye. If any of you heard that, no, it's not for him. It's the company is making everyone do a COVID test because they have to do training next week, and the training company wants everybody to be COVID-free. So they're making them go get a COVID test, everyone. So we'll know whether he's got it or not, which we know he doesn't, but you know. Okay, there is that. So, okay. We now have our little die cut. Isn't this beautiful? I love this little piece. Okay. I'm going to move this out of our way. Back to the floor it goes. Shame on me. I know. I need to rework the she shed now that I'm getting the schedule worked. Okay. Don't want to lose any of my little flowers that I've caught. They're gorgeous. I love these little flowers. All right, now we've got our pretty little, I've got my dimensions right here. I don't know if you can read them or not, but I do have the dimensions here. Cherry Cobbler, 5.5 by 4.25. Basic Black, 5.25 by 4. Whisper White, 5 1/8 by 4 7/8. 3 by 3 piece of Sahara sand foil, 2 by 2 of Blushing Bride, Specialty DSP, flower cut from True Love DSP. So that's what else I have to cut. So I need this to be cut by, where's my little die? Going to use the little one. Should be in here. And there it is. We've got the little one. I'm going to use the little one to put in. I mean, you could use the leaf or the floral one too. It wouldn't matter. Just to give a little dimension over here. I've used this one, and I'm not sure. I'm not pulling the other one back out. So I'm just going to cut a little piece. I've got my big shot sitting right next to me, so it's easy access. And there we go. All right, so now we've got our little pieces cut out. And we've got our extra little piece. And we've got our flower, or our heart. Okay, so I'm going to take this one and I'm just going to lay it where I want it. That's it. And then I'm going to glue that sucker down. And I actually think I'm going to go this way with it. And we're going to put this here and leave the rest of it that way. That'll work. And I'll put a little glue over here. And I wanted to show you all, one of my customers sent me a card. I got it in the mail yesterday. Her name is Pam. And she sent me the most beautiful card with the stamp set that I hate the most. I really dislike the stamp set. And this is this one. This is Enjoy the Moment. I dislike the stamp set so much. But she combined it with a bunch of things she had at home. Just some different little, looks like a type ribbon. And then she used some So Sweetly dies. And this is an old retired embossing folder, but it's just stunningly beautiful. I love this one. I'll post a picture of this on my Facebook page so that you guys can take a gander at it. But isn't that beautiful? And the inside just says Enjoy the Moment. And I thought that was so beautiful. All right. And I'm still getting Christmas cards. That's hilarious to me because the post office is. I don't know what else to say. Okay, this is going to go across the bottom here, like so. And then we're going to have our flowers, and they're going to come over here. So I kind of got to figure out how I'm going to put this and where I'm going to put it. And mind you, this will be popped up, so I'm not even trim off. Yeah, we could do it like that. So I'm just trying to figure out how I want to put it. I might trim off this piece and just leave the flowers. But I'm just trying to figure out how far I want to put my sentiment. So it's going to go like that. That should be good right there. Okay, so I'm kind of giving myself an idea, and I'm going to mark a little line with a pencil on my trying to find my pencil. Mark a little line so I know where to stamp my sentiment, and I can erase it. And I also now know where to place it when I place it back on the. So I'm going to take the stamp set that has some sentiments here. First, I'm going to use this one, and we're going to use Cherry Cobbler. And I know this seems like crazy because these stamps are beautiful, and I love that they're all perfectly aligned for you, but I want them to go this way and not this way. So it's hard to get these lined up too sometimes. And I'm just going to use Cherry Cobbler. Do I get one? Oh, Mom, you're so funny. I love you. I guess if you comment, yeah, I'll send you one. I'll put a drawing in for the comments and we'll send one. So let's see if you win. All right, so I'm going to just literally stamp the center of that one heart. And here's where I'm going to cut off. So I kind of want to go on the edge. I'm going to start over here. And I should have a foam mat under here because this is a polymer stamp. But I digress. You know, when you start doing your stamping and you forget things. And now my hearts are not going to be even because that's just me. I'm not an even girl, but I'm stamping at each edge, and then I'm going to go to the center, and I'm going to stamp these. Now you see I've got a little, this is why they're not going to be even, because I'm trying to not put that second heart on there. Let's see if we get any more comments. Just Mom is the last one. Let's see if we've got room for more hearts. So now we can just come in here. So Mom, I have one request. If you got one of these cards, you can't send it back to me for my birthday. Because my birthday is Valentine's Day, guys. And of course, I know everybody watching already knows this, because that's why it's stamping with a heart. All right, there we go. There's my hearts. Now we're going to stamp the sentiment. And today's sentiment, what should we do? I will let a vote on here. We have, my heart smiles just thinking about you. Just a little note, sent with lots of heart. Thank you, and what does this one say? You're all heart. So, what do you guys think? I'm thinking maybe sent with lots of heart, just because. All right, we're going to put this here in the middle, because this is going to be our sentiment. Take our stamp off of this one. And we're using Cherry Cobbler for this as well. The only thing I don't like about all those beautiful reds and pinks, because I love them, is they stain your polymer stamps so much. There we go. There's our little sentiment piece. I'm going to go ahead and trim this. Erase any of the little lines that we have left. There we go. That'll pop on. Move this out of our way so we have some stamps to clean. There we go. Now it's just a matter of assembling. Now, the best thing I would suggest with this booger is to actually put adhesive on the back of it before you cut it out. That would be the much better thing to do, but I did not. So I'm literally going to run a little tape runner underneath here, underneath the back of this, and just pop this on like this. Okay, so let's get that done. Trying to find, here's my tape runner. I started using these Stampin' Up. I'm gonna make sure I'm going to the right side. Yeah, the Stampin' Up seal. There we go. Now I've got just a little bit of that tape runner, and I want to keep it even. Just like this. Just kind of want those little parts to come out on the edge. Just so you can see the swirls. There we go. And then just pop off this edge over here. There we go. That'll go here. And I pop this up with dimensionals. We're going to just put a few little dimensionals. I'm only putting 2 on this. That way, when I go to put my other heart on, I can pop it wherever I want. So I'm going to pop this right here. Come close to the edge. There you go. This will also get dimensionals on the back of it, our little flowers. Now you could use any size flower. I used 2 over here. You could use a single flower on the edge. That's entirely up to you. I decided to do it a 3-1 because I really like the 3-1. It's a great flower. I'm not putting uber tons of dimensionals on the back of this because I want to see where it's going and if I have to trim any off after I get it all layered on here. So I'm thinking of going this way. Since I don't have to worry about something being there, I can go in a little more. Maybe we should go this way. Kind of break up all that red with that green. And now that I know where I'm putting it, I'm going to go ahead and put one behind our little single stem over here so we can keep it in. There we go. So there's that. And we've got that random little heart. You could put this in or not. And I just tucked this in here to give it a little pop. My husband said that heart doesn't match. So I'm going to leave it off, but you can do whichever you like. You could also take the heart from before and pop that in. But I felt that that was too much. You want to see here. There's this way. And then there's this way. He says this one doesn't match. I think the other one's too much. So I'm just going to leave it off. I might even go put a red heart in there. I don't know. So instead, I'm just going to go ahead and mount this on my basic black. And I'm going to use tape runner because it is such an edge issue because it's only 1/8 of an inch. And I have a huge issue with placing things down and having to tear them up and it just rips the paper. So I'm literally going to just use some glue. So I'm going to measure this so that it gets to 1/8 all the way around. And there we go. And this way I can move it, play with it a bit before I finalize its position. There we go. That's good. So now we've got 1/8 all the way around. Actually, I don't. See, I messed up. That's why I don't use the tape runner because that would have been stuck for sure. Where with the glue, I have a little more wiggle room. There we go. Much better. Okay, So now we've got this down. And then we're just going to place this on top of some cherry cobbler. And again, this is 1/4 inch all the way around for this piece. So you'll have the cherry cobbler. I know, Sandy, you love your glue too. Have you tried these stamp and seal yet? It's very hard to convince me. I had some rewards money that I had to spend, so I tried it out. And for the Stamp and Seal Plus, I kind of like that for like ribbon and stuff, but I'm not. This part is done. Now we've got it all on there. This is going to go on top of a 8.5 by 5.5 scored at 4 1/4 white base, and you can decorate the inside any way you want. Now for all of these pretties that I put on here, I have just some gems, and I have some of these Thank You Sandy. These were from Sandy, and I'm going to put a few of the Rococo Rose on here just in some random spots. And then I'm going to color some of these with my blends, which I set my blends down. Here they are. And I'm going to use Cherry Cobbler, the dark. So I'm just going to take some blends, color them up. I'm going to color 4. That'll give me 6. I think I might not use all 4, but, you know, we'll see. All right. I might use one more. Let's see. All right, there you go. There's the card of the day. I will have this out on the blog so that you can see it. Let me put my ugly mug back up here for you. There you go. So this is our card, and this is the one I'm going to have on the blog post that'll come out later this morning. I will put this on YouTube so that you can see it and have a little direction, and it will have the bit of coloring that I did in the very beginning so you can see how I colored that. I just love this. I love the way it came out, and I've really decided that I love those poppy stamps for the background because I did another card that has a chicken in it, that the chicken came out so uber cute. Look at him. That's with the same background stamps. So I think it's really cute. You just use the inks you want, and it comes out with this soft, pretty watermark background, and then you can have splotchy pieces of paint. So it's uber cute. Again, I have a class tomorrow. If you purchased your $50 worth of items, you will be able to participate in the class. If you're on my Crew of Hearts website, that video will be on there after the class. It will be there, so you'll be able to rewatch it. But again, those of you who purchased $50 worth of stuff got the class, and they got a kit to go with the class. So I will see all of you tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Sorry, something in my mouth. At 10 o'clock, and it will be at 9 Central Time. So if you purchase your kit, I will see you in the morning at 9 a.m. Central and 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Keep forgetting. And then you still have a few days left to get a kit and do them later after the class. And then you will also get, for $50, you'll get the kit. And then you'll have the video to watch with PDFs. And if you spend $75, I have some chamois that I'm sending out for everybody to start their year off with a clean chamois. Goodness knows I need one of those because mine looks rough, really, really rough. So y'all have a blessed day, and we will see you tomorrow at the Crafty Cottage. Bye.